Six, a helping hand with your land.
Neil from Essex here to talk to you a little bit today about the coronavirus. I actually have kind of avoided making a video that addressed this at all because it just feels like there is so much negative news out here around this. I didn't feel that it was worth addressing. But at this point in this process, enough has happened in the industry now and in dealerships and in the economy that I thought it was worth sitting down and actually addressing and talking about just briefly. Good and bad things here to talk through. So one of the good things is, when we first came into this thing back in March, we really saw our business dive off dramatically with a payroll of 250, 260 people. We as business owners are sitting here worried about what the long term of this thing is going to look like. As we moved into this, it didn't take long for business to start to come back again. If you go look at today's scenario, you think, your farmers are still planting crops. They still have animals to feed. Your contractors still have work that's started in progress. All of your homeowners, your rural lifestyle type customers are spending more time on their properties with things to do. And as a result of all of that, dealerships like ourselves have actually remained fairly busy. I haven't really seen any concerning numbers or stock financial reports or things that come up in dealership news sites that really suggest that markets have fallen apart in any significant way. In fact, some of them are really unexplainably up. We're seeing a lot of pockets of our business right now where sales are very, very strong. Some of the negatives, though, have been a very limited disruption to some parts supply chains. When you go through and we kind of get periodic bulletins from manufacturers, we have been seeing scenarios where shipments are coming in late, or FedEx and UPS are later than usual getting things out. Factories have shut down for a couple of days while things have cleaned. That led me to kind of a final conclusion here. While dealerships like ourselves generally are going to have 6 months worth of inventories between equipment sitting out here on the lot and parts on the shelf, if we continue down this line of really, really healthy sales, but possible supply chain disruptions that we get here towards the end of this year could maybe leave us in some interesting circumstances where a buyer's market might turn into a seller's market, really, if you follow where I'm going. That you look at a piece of equipment with 10, 20,000 parts involved in putting that machine together, to think that every one of those possible supply lines are not going to be disrupted in some fashion is questionable to me. My recommendation would be, if you have a particular equipment need that is a must, not necessarily a want, but if you have a must out there, I wouldn't wait too long. I'm not rushing anybody out to go buy, but today we can sit here and say that all of our services are pretty well being provided as usual. But having that question out there of what this looks like in the long term, none of us know, right? This entire thing seems to go day to day. So I was encouraged to be able to sit and say that, the economies have held up really well. Dealerships continue to be healthy. Things have gone vastly better than what I ever could have guessed several weeks ago. But know where we may be headed in the future just continues to be that big unknown. So here's to everybody hopefully staying healthy and happy and strong. First, anything that we can help with any of your equipment needs, we're available for parts, sales, or service. We've made a couple of small changes, things like the tent here in the background and social distance type operation, but still getting everything done. So give us a call, 800-222-3373, or if you need parts, you can hit up our hotline at 877-260-3528.